I've said it many times, I know I would change my ways, I know for sure. When all the crows decide to meet, they settle down beneath my feet.
Welcome back, folks. I'm Lloyd Purvis and this is Run4Adventure. Now, we really love the interaction that we have with our wonderful followers and supporters, and I've tried to get back to every single comment that's ever been made on all the videos that we've produced, and I've done that since the channel first started. With the channel growing and the fact that we now produce 3 videos a week, as you can imagine, that is a lot of comments every week. I would say somewhere between sort of 250 and 300 comments a week, and that takes a lot of time to read and to get back to everyone. I've got to be honest, I'm struggling to keep up with them nowadays. But I thought what we could do today is I'm going to go out on my longer Saturday run, I'm going to grab the cameras, we're going to bring you guys along, and I'm going to answer as many of those comments and questions as I can. Okay, so the plan today is we're gonna head over to St Ives from Hale. We got a bit of road to soak up first, but then we're gonna pick up the coast path in a beautiful little town called Lelant. We're gonna run a great section of trails through Carbis Bay to St Ives. So I'm rocking the Trailfly G 280 today. I thought this would be a great opportunity to get a longer run in the shoe to see how it soaks up distance. So let's get stuck into the run. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so the first question or comment we're going to answer, and I get asked this a lot, so I'll do a shoe review and then afterwards people will ask me is this shoe, is this midsole going to be stable for my running gait? And I've got to be honest, I really appreciate you reaching out and asking, but that is an impossible question for me to answer. Having worked in the running shoe retail industry for 10 years, 6 of those years was spent looking and analysing people's running gaits to try and help them get in the right shoe for them when it comes to stability, cushioning, heel offset and weight and all those things. So it really is a hard question to answer without seeing you running. And even then it's not that straightforward. So I would always recommend researching a really good bricks and mortar running store that does gait analysis. I know it's getting harder and harder to find good quality running stores these days, but it's definitely worth a bit of research and getting it done correctly. But even then it's not that straightforward. You're running in store on a treadmill. Obviously a treadmill is a false environment, but you definitely want to go through that process, try and run in lots and lots of shoes, because over those years I was doing it, I'd get someone in who looked very stable, very neutral in their gait. I'd bring down lots of neutral running shoes and they'd run in 5, 6, 7 shoes, they'd all be great, and then all of a sudden one wouldn't work for them. So it's still very personal. The same goes if you need structure and support. Not every shoe with structure and support will be right for you. So really important when you do go along and get your gait done that you get to try lots of shoes out, you get to run in lots of shoes, they film you in lots of shoes, so you can find out if they feel comfortable to run in, if they fit well, but also that they're running nice and stable. So I definitely wish I could answer that question for you. I try to get back to all the comments on the channel, but unfortunately I haven't got a crystal ball and I haven't seen you run. So definitely worth getting yourself along to a running store and getting your gait analysed. Okay, so we have made it to the coast path, and the first thing I've got to say is we've done just under 4 miles of road and the Trailfly soaked that up, no problem at all. Really, really comfortable through that midsole. So definitely a good test out when it comes to running on those harder, more compacted trails or sections of tarmac. Time for question 2, and we've got the beautiful Godrevy Lighthouse in the distance, Hale Beach. We've got West Cornwall Golf Course in front of me, so stunning views all round. Another thing I get asked a lot on the channel, and this is more like not necessarily a question, but a request, and it is, Lloyd, can you do some sort of strength and conditioning videos for running? Now, I do a bit of strength and conditioning in my training, but it's quite specific to me. It's things I've just picked up over the years that I know they're areas that I need to work on if I want to keep my training consistent. And, you know, I'm not really qualified in that field. So the last thing I want to do is give out bad advice when I don't really know what I'm talking about. I know there's quite a few other sort of running YouTubers out there doing it. Again, I don't know whether they're more qualified than me, but if I want to do a video on strength and conditioning, I want to make sure it's done right. So it is something we're working on, and hopefully this is something I've spoken about on the channel before, and we've been trying to put it together for a long time, but we're both very busy people. But hopefully at the start of next year, we're going to hook up with the brilliant sports physio Paul Coker from Move Physiotherapy Cornwall, who has helped me out no end over the years with strength and conditioning and mobility. He is supremely qualified, so we're going to put a little series together when it comes to strength and conditioning for running and mobility from runners, because that's what he's all about. So yeah, hopefully we can get together and put that little video series together for you guys at home. So like I said, if I ever want to do anything on the channel, a video, speak about any topic, I want to make sure it's done right. So yeah, hopefully that'll be coming to the channel soon. Okay, so that's 2 questions down, but you know, we came out here to run, and this is a glorious section of coast path running through Carbis Bay to St Ives. I haven't run out here for ages, and it's also a section of the Arc of Attrition. So if you're running the Arc 50 or the Arc 100 come next year, this is a section of trail, this is a section of the route that you're going to be running on. So we'll try and sort of highlight some of it for you so you can see what's coming up. This little section can be quite tricky on the Arc because you've got lots of sort of steep steps to navigate. It can sit super boggy, muddy, slippery through here. The good news is it is only a short section, and when you get off it at the land, you've got some nice flat running through hail, across the dunes of doom that aren't that scary really, and up on the North Cliffs. It does get a little bumpy towards the end, but you're almost home and dry then. But yeah, this section can be a little bit tricky to navigate. The next question we definitely have to answer, and I'll try and do it while I'm running, is I've had lots of people asking me, am I going to be testing out the new shoe from Kilian's brand, NNormal? Now, I was very lucky to get to put them on my feet at the Expert UTMB, and I've got to be brutally honest, it did leave me a little bit underwhelmed, if I'm honest. It's not what I was expecting, and I think it's not what a lot of people are expecting. Obviously, it's a shoe that's been designed for Kilian to race in, so it is pretty stripped back when it comes to the upper. Midsole is quite firm, doesn't have a lot of shape or support to it. You know, it's a shoe that weighs under 200 grams, so I think a lot of people are expecting a very light, very cushioned shoe, and it wasn't that when I tried it on. Like I said, I was pretty underwhelmed. And on the outsole, it looks good. It's got Vibram Mega Grip light base, but quite a shallow lug, so I'm not fully convinced by it, if I'm honest. I think we'll still get a pair and try it, but you know, the reality is it's been built for an elite athlete, and I know I'm definitely not an elite athlete, but if you like that minimal feel to your shoes, you like a light shoe that makes you feel very grounded and very connected, then I dare say you'll really enjoy it. But if you're after a lightweight, deeply cushioned trail shoe, it is definitely not that. So we made it up the steps to Carbis Bay. I'll just show you the view from here because it's pretty epic. How amazing is that? So Hale over to our right, got the beautiful St Ives over to our left. So another thing I've been asked a lot lately is, now that we've got TDS out the way, It was a really successful trip and a really successful race. What's next when it comes to our race calendar? I've got to be honest, for the rest of the year, there's not going to be a lot, maybe some local races, things like that, because we kind of blew the holiday budget staying out in Chamonix for a month, but it was definitely worth every penny. But we have started to put some plans in place for next year, and hopefully we're going to travel abroad and do some big races again. First on the list is going back to Transvolcania. Now, if you've followed the channel for any period of time, you'll know that we actually were meant to go out there a while back. We had it all booked up, and then obviously the volcano decided to erupt and completely scuppered our plans. It's a race I've done before many years ago, and it's actually my first sort of mountain ultra, and I've got to be honest, I was ill prepared and it went terribly. I made it to the finish line, but I was in a right state, and I can't say I enjoyed the experience. So I definitely want to go back there and do a proper job this time. Now I've got a bit more experience when it comes to those big mountain races. The island is beautiful, the route is stunning, everybody on the island gets behind the race, and the support is absolutely incredible. It blows your mind all the way around the route. So yeah, hopefully come May next year, we'll be getting out to La Palma and we'll be racing the awesome, iconic Transvolcania. Race is a bit closer to home. Hopefully we'll be on the start line of the Arc of Attrition, a race I've run many times before, a race I love. It's local, I love the route, I know the route like the back of my hand, but I've done lots of filming over the last few years, but I haven't been on the start line. So yeah, hopefully that's going to be the first big race of 2023, and then maybe later in the year we will be heading back out to Chamonix, depending if Liga gets in the OCC. She's tried 4 times and not got in, so fingers crossed, you know, I really hope she gets in this time, because she's desperate to run that route. And also it gives us a great excuse to get back out to Chamonix and soak up UTMB week again. And nothing's really set in stone yet, but they're the races we're looking at, and hopefully we can work them into our race calendar. Obviously there'll be lots of smaller, more local races thrown in for good measure as well, but I'm starting to seize up here, so let's get running again. Let's get down this hill into Carvis Bay. Just started raining, but I had to show you this. So believe it or not, this is part of the Arc route. So don't worry if you come through here. This is Carvis Bay Hotel, where they had the G7 a few years ago. But yeah, you need to run through here, and this is a section of the coast path. So you run all the way past the bar, restaurant, the hotel, the steps, and then you're going to pop back out on the coast path. So like I said, if you come through here, you get to the hotel, don't worry, you are still on the right route, and then you're heading up the hill out of Carvis Bay and back onto the coast path. Okay, that is a wrap on today's run and today's video, and by the time I get home, probably another mile and a bit. It's going to be about 12.5 miles. My longest run since the TDS, so very happy with that. And my longest run in the Trailfly G280. And we had a big mixed bag of terrain today, including about 7.5 miles of tarmac, and it soaked it up and handled it all really well. I'll let you into a little secret though, I have got my boomerang footbeds in it this time. So what I wanted to do was do a long run with the footbeds in, and I'm going to do a long run without the footbeds before our full review and see how they compare. But yeah, really happy with the distance I got in my legs today. Don't forget guys, if you have enjoyed the video, you know what to do. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Super simple to do, just by clicking on that little red subscribe box down there in the corner, and it is completely free, but it really does help the channel out. You can also follow us on our other social media platforms, whether it be Instagram, Facebook or Strava. And I got absolutely soaked coming back here. The heavens opened up, so I'm off home to jump in the shower and get warmed up. But for now guys, thanks for watching, thanks for supporting the channel, it really is appreciated. We'll be back here very, very soon, and as always, stay safe and keep on running. Welcome back folks, I'm Lloyd Purvis and this is Run4Adventure. Now Welcome back folks, I'm Lloyd Purvis and this is Run4Adventure. Now Welcome back folks, I'm Lloyd Purvis and this is Run4Adventure. Now oh god, why can't I say? Now we really love the